When thinking about a film score for our films, we should ask ourselves, what do I want the audience to believe this scene means? Because the same shot can be romantic, tragic, mysterious, dangerous, or nostalgic, depending on the score. That means the score is not just sitting behind the scene, but is actively rewriting it. It tells the audience what to feel before they understand why they feel it. In this video, I'll show you how to use MiniMax audio not just to generate music, but to direct emotion, tension, pacing, and the story meaning inside your AI films. Before we open MiniMax, the sponsor of this episode, I want to show you the fastest way to understand what a film score really does. You'll see the same shot, the same writer, and the same landscape. 3 different scores and 3 different stories. The same scene, but applying different scores changes the story completely. In the first version, this feels like memory, longing, maybe even healing. In the second version, it feels like a mission, something is coming. And in the third version, the same beautiful landscape suddenly feels suspicious, unstable, and dangerous. That is the power of a film score. Let's start with the romantic cinematic version. This version should make the ride feel intimate, hopeful, and quietly poetic. So the music language is warm, soft piano, lyrical strings, gentle acoustic guitar, brushed percussion, and a slow emotional rise. The tempo is rather slow, around 72 to 82 BPM, because I don't want urgency, I want breathing room. I want the viewer to feel that she's riding toward freedom or healing or a decision that has emotional weight. This time, she's no longer just riding through a beautiful landscape. Now she might be escaping something or moving toward danger. So the prompt changes completely. We use pulsing low strings, rhythmic cellos, deep percussion, subtle brass pressure, and a rising ostinato. Think Hans Zimmer here, the absolute master of string ostinatos. The tempo is higher, around 95 to 110 BPM, because the scene needs forward momentum. We don't need loud horror music. In many cases, subtle musical hints work wonders. Here I'm asking for low sustained strings, sparse prepared piano, distant drones, bold textures, and muted heartbeat, like a pulse. The goal is not to scare the audience, but to make them question the image. Why is she alone? What is she thinking? What is hidden in this landscape? We want the audience to feel uncertainty. So when we prompt music in MiniMax, we try to include 6 things: genre and style, emotional tone, narrative function, instrumentation, tempo and rhythm, and what we don't want. Like for example, no vocals. A good music prompt is not just a description of sound, it's a directing note. Sometimes music has to open or close the story, and an end title track is all about function. It begins at the end of the story and carries the audience into the credits. We have created the final scene for a feature film and used MiniMax to produce the end title song, which not only carries the audience into the credits, but also expresses the central emotional idea of the film: leaving a place, closing a life chapter, carrying memories forward, and searching for home.
Where the dust learns every name, I left the door an inch behind and rode into the rain. So carry me the long way home, carry me the long way home. Whatever's left when the fire's gone will carry me.
As you saw, the song begins while the story is still happening, but when the end credits appear, so the audience already knows it's the end of the story. The Long Way Home acts as an end title track with a theme song potential. This song does not just decorate the ending, but emotionally seals the film. The plot is over, but the feeling continues. We want the audience to sit in a movie theater seats until the song is over, watching the credits while thinking about the character, the story, and the what happened next question. Using MiniMax for film scores and songs is a huge shift. We are no longer limited to generic music libraries that almost fit. We can create a score that follows the emotional shape of a scene, or a title track that truly belongs to the story, summarizes it, or even, as in our case, reveals what may happen next. That turns a generated audio track into narrative design. Now let's move from music to voice. Because voiceover is not just text to speech. Voiceover is casting. The voice you choose tells the audience what kind of story they are watching. For this test, I use one simple line over the same shot. First, let's hear it as an educational narrator.
She rides toward the last light on the horizon, carrying a decision we never hear, only feel.
This version feels clear, instructional, almost like a filmmaker explaining visual storytelling. Now let's hear the same words with a premium documentary narrator.
She rides toward the last light on the horizon, carrying a decision we never hear, only feel.
Suddenly, the same image becomes more reflective, human, and emotional. And now let's try a cinematic trailer narrator.
She rides toward the last light on the horizon, carrying a decision we never hear, only feel.
Now it feels like the beginning of a much bigger story, a teaser to capture your attention and make you want to see more. This is why voice selection matters. You're not just choosing a voice that sounds good. You're choosing who is telling the story. With all the functionalities MiniMax offers, you can create a custom voice or choose one from the library and then adjust a number of parameters like speed or pitch. You can also change the emotional aspect of the voice, place pauses, and even add sound tags like a laugh or a throat clearing. These functions allow you to really act using your voiceover voices. If you run a channel, a course, a recurring documentary series, or a brand with a consistent audio identity, then a custom voice can become part of your production language. It can even be your cloned voice. MiniMax does a pretty good job here. So, you can use MiniMax Audio to create the full audio layer for your film, the score, songs, and voiceovers. If you take your time to properly plan the audio layer, the music will not just fill the silence, but it will actively direct meaning. Treat it as one of the main storytelling systems of the film. Every score, every title track element, and every voiceover example you heard in this video was created using MiniMax Audio. We actually enjoyed working on this platform. It's simple, easy to use, and quite intuitive. Some of the vocals it can generate are truly inspiring. If you found this video informative, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming content. See you soon.